Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video wasn't supposed to exist. It was supposed to be one big 2021 plan with me plus 2020 flip through, but I ended up having 2 hours of footage. When I sped everything up all the way on my plan with me, the video was still an hour long with all of this footage in it, so I am cutting the video in half. We are going to be flipping through 2 of my bullet journals from 2020, and you can probably tell by the way that I'm moving my hands and everything that I was originally talking while I was filming this, but I'm going to speed it up just a little bit and talk right over myself with some music in the background. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. I hope that you're looking forward to the 2021 plan with me and enjoy this little bonus video. So this was my Teku Core bullet journal. I believe that they're still available on Amazon. I can double check though and leave that information in the description for you. So this is a 160 GSM journal from Amazon, pretty inexpensive, and I used this journal from March until I want to say September, but I'm honestly not entirely sure. And I had switched to the B5 journal that was underneath it in the very beginning of this video. So this is everything that's happening in March. I had transferred to a different school, actually, and I was putting together my calendar for that, my weekly class schedule, all of that kind of stuff, because I was getting ready to move to Virginia, and that didn't happen. So there's a lot of stuff based around planning that. I had some spreads that were based around the content that I wanted to make when I moved, because I had all of these ideas for my apartment. I was gonna build a platform bed. It was gonna be crazy. It was gonna be a lot of fun, definitely, for sure, but it was definitely going to be kind of crazy. So I started this journal right before we went into lockdown. We went into lockdown, I wanna say like the 2nd or 3rd week in March. So I just started this journal. The classes moved online. I moved home pretty much right away to home, meaning to my parents' house. So I was working out of there, and I knew that I needed my bullet journal to work with me to complete all of my classes and get all of that work done while I was home. And it definitely helped a lot. I definitely used my bullet journal a lot during this time, but it was definitely also a really stressful time until I moved back into my apartment, because there were both of my parents who both work and both have work from home capabilities. There's also my sister, who at the time was a 1st or 2nd grade, some elementary school teacher in New York City, and we had moved them out of New York. We moved her and her husband out of New York City and into our house. So there were the 5 of us there. All of us were busy doing things. So that was a little bit tough to work with, which is why I moved into my apartment around May 27th, I believe I moved in, like the end of May, the very end of May. So that was a good move. But in general, my bullet journal kind of helped me have my own space. Not that I don't have my own room, I do, and there's plenty of space, but it was nice to have a plate, like something that was tangibly mine, where I could just do whatever I wanted with it. So that was nice. Yeah, I was vegan. I'm not anymore. I do make vegan choices not on occasion. I tend to make vegan choices, but I'm not strictly vegan anymore for many reasons, to be honest. I'm sure I can talk about that in a future Let's Talk About video or something like that, but I had made a whole spread for that. I think that I painted that little ombre thing right when the staying at home concerts were. So Taylor Swift had sung Soon You'll Get Better, and I just lettered it on there, and I was like, yep, slapping this in. And then I committed to Drexel. So I switched schools, I decided to stay here, and I immediately started apartment hunting. So I think on the spread before this, it was May 2nd. I'm trying to think of when I made that spread and when I knew. But when I switched to Drexel and I switched to staying in Philadelphia, I immediately started looking for an apartment. And I think I definitely drove into the city more than once, but I toured a couple of places in the same day. Found this apartment. It was late afternoon, sun was setting, so all of that nice golden hour light was coming in, and I was sold. I knew that this was going to be my apartment. So this was my spread for my summer classes, which I clearly didn't use, but definitely would have been very useful. But by the time June came around, I was back in my own space and back in my own apartment and working on my 6 summer classes that I took to finish my associate's degree. So seeing habit trackers that aren't filled out is definitely a common theme for me. It's definitely something I need to work on. And it is something I want to work on in 2021, but there are definitely a lot of really unutilized spreads. And I know that part of that is due to like me being me and me just not finishing spreads. That's just kind of how I am. I don't know. I never finish spreads, but that's definitely something I want to work on, and you guys will see that in the 2021 plan with me. Gosh, what year is it even? Yeah, but you guys will see that I have a big emphasis on trackers and filling things out, building routines, all of that good stuff in 2021. So I am getting my handle on it, and I still have a couple weeks before 2021 at the time of recording this and the other video, but I'm really, really excited about what I have planned. I am really looking forward to everything, especially with my winter classes being online and my job being so remote. I'm really looking forward to building some really healthy goals. I have some new office stuff coming to kind of upgrade my space a little bit. There's lots of exciting stuff coming. So where are we now? I think are we still in June, or did we get to July? I'm trying to see. I think we're in July at this point. Yeah, we're in July. So more daily spreads, lots of daily spreads, lots of craft paper and like book pages. I think that right before quarantine, I had ordered my first set of papers that like people sell paper on Etsy for like junk journaling. And I think that was like the first time I'd ever done that. That awkward cut, by the way, was my uncle's wedding invitation was in my bullet journal, and it has like addresses and names on it that don't want to be shared, so I just cut that out. But now we're in August. Their wedding was at the end of the month, so I pasted it in right before I left. And then I had made my ideal week for my first quarter with the intention of opening up my shop for the fall quarter, which clearly did not happen. I'm hoping to open my shop in January. I don't have a hard date or anything like that. I just want everything to be ready and perfect and set. So I'm not going to put a hard date on it, but it's definitely going to happen in like January, February-ish. So I had started September in this journal, and then I switched journals. And I remember talking about how I never fill out trackers, so I was going to make this super simple. I was only going to track 4 things. It was going to be great. And then I never tracked those things. So now we are switching over to the other journal. Very exciting. I had switched into a B5 journal because I wanted more space at the time. I am moving back into an A5 journal for 2021, but just showing you the size difference here. I purchased the Amanda Rach Lee journals on Black Friday, so that was buy one, get one 50% off. I got the teal and the pink one. We'll talk more about that next week. But in general, I felt like I was straying away from what I really wanted to do with my journal in this big journal. So I am going to utilize this journal. It came in a pack of 2. I have plans for both of them. I just think that there are aspects of this that I liked at the time, but ultimately for 2021 I wanted a fresh start. First of all, I wanted a fresh start anyway, but in general, I wanted to move back into something that felt a little bit more traditional for bullet journaling. So that's what I did. So we have some September trackers in here, a lot of daily spreads, but I was talking about how I liked how this page on the right felt really full and filled up and used. So I want to find that feeling again with my next bullet journal, but also this was an event that Drexel had during Welcome Week, and I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed taking notes. So that's also something that I want to incorporate in my new bullet journal. I really want to use it as a space to hold pretty much everything. So this bullet journal that we're looking at now held a lot of notes from events. It held my pledge education notes for my service fraternity. It held some church notes from the church groups that I was a part of. It held a lot of lists, a lot of journaling, a lot of it's okay to not be okay. And I like that. It holds a lot of pictures. Like, I like all of that. And I want to incorporate that into my new bullet journal, but I also want to utilize some more of my like trackers and making weekly spreads and time tracking and all of that kind of stuff. So that's really my goal, at least right now, with my 2021 bullet journal. But most of these spreads stay pretty much the same. I did a mood board and I did a calendar that's pretty much useless because I use my Google Calendar for them, and then a goals section. So these are all things that I want to incorporate into my new bullet journal, although I didn't do that for January, as you will see for next week. But yeah, so lots of like, I'm having a hard time, I need to write this out, or, oh, I got new pens, these are cool. Or, oh, I'm at large group, so we're talking about Ruth and Boaz and all of this stuff related to Bible study. There was a lot going on every single page, but I also really liked how full every page felt. And I like thinking back and like flipping through this, even just looking at this video now. I'm just staring at a screen of my notebook, but just looking at like all of the little memories and stuff. I like this a lot, so I want to keep this. I like looking back and thinking, oh my gosh, we learned about hazing today, or we talked about, I don't know, I can't even remember. But being able to look back and see, oh, I was really interested in this call that somebody was having, or this discussion that somebody was having, or this is some advice that my co-op, like all of this stuff. I like looking back at it is what I'm trying to say, and what I'm saying over and over again. My gosh, I got my peace lily on October 18th. That means I've had it for 2 months now at the time of recording. She's sitting right next to me. She's gotten a couple new spots since I purchased her. She had a different spot, meaning spot on my desk, not spots on her. But she's moved around a little bit, but I think I found her permanent residence, which is very nice. So this was my November tracker. I liked that I was tracking sleep, but I didn't quite like how I was doing it. And I actually stuck with these trackers all the way until I went home for Thanksgiving. So I was pretty happy with that. You can see that there's like a little gap in there, but you know what, whatever. I'm never going to be perfect with it, so yeah. And then I'd fallen off a little bit with like actually using my bullet journal because finals were coming up. There's a lot more work for school, so I was really depending on my Notion and my digital calendars. So this was like my co-op, all the jobs that I applied to, and I wrote notes about, oh, this job's paid, this job is in New Jersey, all of that kind of stuff in different places. And what is this? I didn't even write in the date for that one day. I think that's what I'm laughing about to myself in here. But more just like pledge ed notes. It's mostly like other stuff that I want to include in my bullet journal, but also like not dailies because I was getting like a little bit overwhelmed. And then I made this big weekly and I was like, why did I do this? I hate weeklies. I really do hate weeklies, and you're never going to see me make another one ever again. You can see why. It's completely empty. I hate them. It's just a waste of space for me. I like being more creative in my bullet journal. But this was for my co-op job interviews. They're still happening right now. It's crazy. I will find out my job a couple weeks after this video goes up, which is exciting, but also nerve-wracking. So we'll see how all that goes. And then here we are in December. I pretty much stopped using my bullet journal altogether in the beginning of December. So finals had happened and I just totally fell off the wagon. But this one night I was sitting at my desk and I was playing with my fountain pens and I said, I'm just gonna write out a page and I'm gonna see how I like this. So this journal is now going to become my personal journal. I'm gonna use my fountain pens in it. It's going to be great. I'm very, very excited. But yeah, so because this was all filmed together all at once, I am now flipping over into my new bullet journal so you guys can get a little bit of a sneak peek of what that is. I'm using the teal Amanda Rach Lee bullet journal. I also have the pink one. I'm hoping that they last me for the entire year. I'm hoping that I can fill them up. I would rather overfill them than underfill them. But if you follow me on Instagram, you voted for these probably. You guys decided which color I would use first, and next week you guys will get to see me playing with me in my bullet journal. Anyways though, until then, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!